Okay, I'm getting ready to watch episode 15 of Attack on Titan Season 4, the final season. This is the next to last or penultimate episode of part 1 of the final season. I'm so close to being all caught up and ready for the new episodes to drop, but we still got a few loose ends to tie up. Like, I want to learn a little bit more about this guy that was playing baseball with Zeke when Zeke was a boy and his father had been an outcast because Zeke kind of rolled over on him with the government. I want to see more of that story. I kind of want to see what's up with Eren and that very, very cold, definitely unwarm reunion that he had with Armin and Mikasa. So just a whole lot I'm excited about. So let's just get into the episode and see what it holds. Oh, it looks like somebody is showing Zeke Liberio for the first time and comparing it to a birdcage. Oh, that's back with, is that young Grisha when Grisha was still alive before Zeke ratted him out? Oh, wow. He's even like kind of confessing to Zeke about how it'd be nice to leave Liberio. All right. Oh, is this guy like a... Okay, he's like a custodian. For a minute, I thought he was holding a hammer, but I think it's a broom. Oh, so now he's suddenly suspicious. They're aliens. He threw the water on him. Come on, man. That's not necessary. The guy's got his little kid with him. Oh, his job is to get rid of the trash, and the Eldians are trash. What a horrible place to live. I'm glad the real world's not like that. I can't even say it with a straight face, sorry. Yeah, telling him to stay in your place. Wow. Kind of rough outing for your son. But it is a great teaching moment. He's trying to drive home to Zeke that he's got to change this. So even though Zeke did kind of roll over on his dad, maybe he did pick up some principles and morals and values or core principles that he uses to make his decisions from Grisha before turning Grisha over to the coppers. But here, during the OP, I just want to take a minute to remind everybody that I do have a Patreon. I know a lot of you are already aware of that, but if you're curious about what the Patreon has to offer or what's going on over at my Patreon, there is a link in the video description. Soul Salvation is the name of this episode. I don't even know what to make out of that title. So I'm going into this one as pretty much a blank slate. But it looks like we see young Zeke in the Warrior program. That's what I think we're seeing. Oh, and it's the old Beast Titan. Okay, so this is getting interesting. I wonder if Ksaver was the old Beast Titan. But it looks like not much has changed over the years with this. Yeah, that looks like that Mr. Ksaver guy. He must be the previous Beast Titan. But it looks like not a lot's changed in the warrior training. Oh, so they're kind of telling him a little bit about that Fritz royal family blood and his special power he has if he becomes a warrior. So they're already kind of like laying down the groundwork. But I wonder if they were really hoping to use that special power to help their sort of restorationist, the Fritz restorationist battle they were wanting to fight in Liberio. Very, very curious here how this is all playing out. Oh man, he's like overhearing their little conspiracy there too. Oh, so this is distant history. 1,200 years ago, this place called Lago that the Titans destroyed. Oh man, just kind of talking about like the horrors of what happened to the Marleyans, these ancient Marleyans, when the Titans tore down their walls and attacked. So there was no escape because they had Titans along that path. Oh my goodness. And Zeke's just like learning all this stuff. Oh, interesting. So there's like a question here about what history Grisha's been teaching Zeke. There's a question here with me about what the real history is, too. I think it's got to be somewhere in the middle of the two sides on it. But Zeke is very driven. Looks like he is dedicated to this warrior path. A cat house book? I don't know if a cat house is the same thing to me that it is in Marley, but that's an interesting book to read a kid for bedtime. Oh, learning to put rifles. Oh, he's struggling a little bit. Good thing he's got that special ability, right? Of course, he makes up for it with intellect, too. This is kind of cool seeing him struggle along the way, and I think in this struggle is when he's going to bond over baseball with this oh, playing soccer with his dad, this other kid, and this is probably beyond the point where Zeke has had his father exiled, so he has no father to... Oh no, Grisha's still around. He's just ignoring his kid. Nice to know some things never change about you, Grisha. He's good at that. He has a good track record of ignoring his children. And here he is arguing that Lago is all fiction. Now that's interesting. Like, that's a pretty extreme opposite. Like, I've seen history having two different perspectives, but wow, that's pretty extreme opposites there. That it didn't even happen at all. Oh, and now he's like suddenly pro-Emir. Is that a younger version of Magath? Is that who we see here, or is this a different guy? Oh, wow. He's really dressing him down there. Being received as an all-around failure. But here's the baseball. And there's that Ksaver guy. I hope I'm not too far off on that name, because I've been saying it a lot. I'll call him Specs, because he has the glasses. Oh, he's naturally got a good arm. That's why he became the perfect game pitcher in Beast Titan form. Oh, he sees the armband. He knows he's got one of the 9. He doesn't look as young as I would expect, but sometimes it's hard to judge with the way folks are drawn. Like, Levi looks way younger to me than what he is. Yeah, Tom Ksaver. Ooh, he's kind of like a Hanji analog. He works in Titan research. I like that. So all of his memories get passed on to Zeke, and that's how Zeke knows so darn much about Titans and Titan physiology and such. But yeah, he's really encouraging Zeke there with his pitching arm. Throw those sliders or whatever. Yeah, they're really doubling down on Zeke here. Like, they're really putting a lot of their hopes on Zeke, and maybe it's just this brief moment of bonding with Ksaver, coupled with the continuing to be ignored by his own father, Grisha, that really led Zeke to make that decision to, turn his parents into the government. Especially knowing that your dad's using you as a tool. Like, once again, his track record not the best. He's done that twice now. Oh, wow. This is kind of scary for a kid to have your dad grab your shoulders and sort of tell you how much he's dependent on you on something that's way above what your age really should be responsible for. Seems like they do a lot of running in warrior training, but I don't know how important running is once you become a Titan. But I guess you might have to run to places before and after you become a Titan. So I guess there's always, running can come in handy no matter what. But still, seems like they do a disproportionate amount of running. Oh, what's this here? Oh, disappointed in his son? Oh, this is all the more reason for him to try to get brownie points with the government and turn in his parents. Grisha created his own disaster, and we're seeing it happen in almost real time here. But see, Ksaver can see through it. And of course, I think somebody's got to know about that special power he has. That's like his ace up his sleeve. His trump card, or whatever you want to say if you're using a card-playing analogy. Oh, wow, and this guy who is a warrior is telling him it's stupid for you to be a warrior. Come on, there's lots of other ways to live your life. Openly criticizing the government and not even afraid at all. He's probably getting near the last years of his terms anyway. I can't be that close, because Zeke's got to grow a lot to be the Zeke we know with the beard. I like this. He's retelling the history of Ymir, and she touched something and learned the truth of it all. He's not doubling down on whether it was an angel, a god, a devil, or what. But this guy's more of a philosopher and an intellectual and not much good in war, he says. So wow, passing on what he's got to Zeke really changed things. Exceedingly rare people, decent people. That's what he just pointed out. Great moment. Great thing to point out. Very, very nice. He's having some kind of epiphany here, some kind of breakthrough realization. Oh, he's over here in the Eldian Restorationists, and he knows his dad's involved, and this is what's going to give him that leg up in the warrior program. Awful, awful. Just cold. Grish's eyes are just so cold. His face, he has no emotion. He's a little too dedicated to his cause. I guess we can see where Aaron inherited that, both genetically and in his environment growing up, inherited it from his father, but then he definitely got those memories by taking his Titan too. Oh, wow. And Zeke is just sitting here saying he's anti-Eldian and kind of luring his father out into a confession, saying that he stands with the Marleyans against the Eldians. Yeah, he lured his parents out. It was like a little test. It was like a little test for them, and he got them to show their true colors. I mean, Grisha just losing it here. So at least he kind of gave him a chance to pass the test before he jumped too quickly to a conclusion. But still, it's tough to think of a kid feeling so backed into a corner he's got to turn his parents over to what amounts to a death sentence. Oh, back to the land of blimps. Oh, and the first thing he does is goes and tells Ksaver. So I guess Ksaver's in on whatever they came up with his parents. I wonder if Ksaver is actually working with the owl. I wonder if that's what we're going to find out, and this was all part of Ksaver's plan. He looks pretty distraught about it, though. If this is acting, it's good acting from a cartoon guy. Yeah, telling him he's got to report them. So he doesn't get sent to Paradis along with his family. He's really backed into a corner. It does at least make it less cold-blooded than it looked when we first saw it in Season 3, where it looked like he just did it of his own accord. We know now he talked to a trusted adult who showed some interest in him, a mentor, and this was the advice he was given. But still, it hurts. It hurts to see a child put in this position. Wow, Zeke's seriously being manipulated from both sides here. I mean, his father wasn't great, Grisha wasn't great, but I don't think Ksaver's being any better. It seems all manipulative, like love bombing, a term I recently learned. But Zeke's getting older, throwing the ball harder, getting close to taking over the Beast Titan, I guess. Oh, is he... I mean, is that what happens when you're close to your term being over? Do you get, like, flu symptoms or something? Or is that just a coincidence there? I wonder how much research he got done in his 13 years. And if all he wanted to do was research, couldn't they have given the Titan power to somebody else? But I do like it, the Ksaver's research. It gives us a reason for why Zeke knows so much and why Zeke can help with the exposition to Aaron and the audience. Oh, wow, talking about a pandemic 600 years ago. So a lot of times that can lead, to social unrest when you have a loss of resources or any other kind of stressors on society. Oh, he absolutely changed how their bodies work to fight off the plague? That's crazy. It's kind of cool, kind of scary. Oh, wow. It's like they're a hive mind, is the way Ksaver's presenting it. This is a great question. Does the power of the founding Titan make it so all the Eldians are sterile and then no more Eldians and it's a peaceful resolution to the Eldian situation? At least it's still kind of like genocide, forced sterilization without consent. It takes away all agency. But now we see what Zeke's plan might be. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. That's like, in one way, it seems like a great solution, but in the other way, it seems like a human rights violation of the largest kind. I don't know how to come to terms with that. Like anything seems better than all-out war, but maybe anything isn't better than all-out war. It's like reverse eugenics or something. Oh, man, that's a heartbreaker. Ksaver's wife committed murder-suicide because she'd rather be dead than with an Eldian? Oh, my goodness. And then he takes Zeke in like a surrogate son because his wife killed his own son, unless this is all a lie to manipulate Zeke. None of it's healthy either way. Oh, poor Zeke. Stuck in this toxic relationships from every direction. And here, Ksaver arguing in favor of never having been born, which is like every mopey middle school kid's thing. I wish I'd never been born, but maybe they're going to take it pretty seriously. Is it scary? Is it genius? Is it evil genius? I don't know yet. I have to think about this. If he could just make it so their children were born without the Titan trait, I'd be in favor of that, but I don't like just sterilizing them. Oh, wow. So, how did Zeke know he was royal blood? I know the family told him he had a special power, and he disclosed this to Ksaver, but nobody else seems to know about it. So I guess Ksaver's just believing him at face value. He doesn't have to prove it. And Ksaver didn't tell anybody else because they didn't take, Dinah into custody. They just turned her into a Titan and left her out there. Oh, they're calling it a euthanasia plan, but it's not really euthanasia. It's like an inverse. It's sterilization. Oh, wow. So there's the ceremony. Ksaver passed it on to Zeke. And that's why the glasses have that sentimental value I was wondering about. That was a really nice little montage there. Nice little stretch. The bulk of the episode, it looks like. Oh, getting the intel from Reiner and Bertolt. Haven't seen Bertolt in a while. Like the flashback. Yeah, Zeke's going to connect the dots and know that Aaron's his brother here. This is when it's all starting to click. I do like the conflict on Zeke's face. It's not easy for him to do what he thinks must be done. And he's immediately getting sympathy for Aaron and thinking Aaron was brainwashed because he was the victim of Grisha's attempts to brainwash him. Zeke was. But I didn't see quite the same thing going on with Aaron. It was more like all in a rush. Looked like Grisha was hoping that day would never come. But yeah, we're getting to see that clandestine meeting between Zeke and Aaron. This is nice. So Aaron supports the euthanization plan. Though it's not really euthanization, it's more like sterilization, but I like the term. It makes it sound a little bit more benign than genocide either way. Wow. And Aaron's all behind this. And at this point, Aaron seems so set, single-minded, and cold along this path. I don't think there's any, change in his mind no matter what. Wow. So the brothers are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And the end of the Eldian race. Though race is an artificial construct. You know what I mean. I just wish they could find a way to stop the trait from being passed on, but not stop the children from being born. Although you might tell me that's just as bad. And you wouldn't be wrong. I'm just spitballing ideas. But they both are thinking how better they would be if they hadn't been born, and all these people would be better off not being born. But they're also taking agency away from people, which is kind of a big deal in human rights, is kind of what human rights means. But yeah, Aaron's buying into his big brother's plan, hook, line, and sinker. Oh man. Looks like Zeke wasn't even sure. Like Zeke talked Aaron into it, but he needed Aaron's validation to be confident in himself or something. Oh wow, they can't even touch each other for a handshake because they'll unlock that power. So are they really going to save everyone? Because will anybody believe them? Will anybody be happy? Will it lead to more fighting? Is it something that people will be worried could be undone? Well, Regardless, thanks to Levi, it looks like euthanization isn't real likely at the moment. Oh, we're about to feed you to somebody, Zeke. So, it can't be Historia, so they're losing. Well, they're not losing the royal bloodline. Historia's still alive. But they can't feed him to Historia right now. So I wonder who they're going to feed him to.
In fact, Aaron's going to rescue him, right? There's talking about a rendezvous point as all this stuff that Zeke was able to predict or something. Oh, some more slicing and dicing. Calling out for Ksaver, watching from the past. And his, oh no, he just set off the thunder spear. Can he survive this? Oh, ho, ho, ho! Who blew up the cart? Can Levi survive that? Oh, the horse doesn't look good. Come on, man. That was uncalled for, setting a horse on fire. Is that 2 horses Zeke's killed now? Canonically, he's killed 2 horses. I can forgive you for chomping teenagers. I can forgive you for chomping moms. But you kill 2 horses. That might be a bridge too far. Great exposition episode. Now, I actually think I know what the plan is, something I haven't known for 3.5 seasons. And it's pretty sinister. But it also makes sense. That's what makes it so dangerous. Like, it's so hard for me to just straight up drop my jaw and say, what an awful plan. It sounds kind of humanistic, kind of humanitarian compared to the alternatives. But you shouldn't have to compare it to alternatives. And what's up? Like, Aaron's goal is free will, and he wants to take away a whole group of people's agency. That's not free will. And I don't see him ever opening his eyes up to what's going on here. How many more horses have to die before this story comes to a close? I don't know, but I'm on the verge of seeing the final episode of part 1 of the final season, and I'm super excited to get to it. So I'm just going to say, I'm proud of you for watching anime, and I'll talk to you again soon.